tennis this month, we're on the green and pleasant lawns of England as the players warm up for the biggest grass court event of them all, Wimbledon. Picking the winner for us, Pam Shriver. See how many she gets right. Wimbledon's most successful star, Martina Navratilova, is back and taking a rather more laid-back approach to life. And making her first visit to the championships, one of the tour's rising stars.
Hi, I'm Mary Pierce. Welcome to WTA Tour Tennis.
The mowers are out, and this year, so is the sun. The WTA Tour comes to England. Some of the players, proven grass court winners, full of hope, but still all too aware of the difficulties of the quick adjustment from the clay of Paris.
It can be a little difficult because, as you know, in clay you're sliding most of the time, and on grass you really have to get to the ball. It's more a matter of adjusting your footwork more than anything else. You know, for me, I'm a natural grass court player, so it comes easier than maybe for some other players. But it's still kind of soon, you know, to go from the French Open to Wimbledon, but they've been doing it for many years, so we can adjust.
The Wiggle is with us. Zina Garrison-Jackson, Wimbledon finalist in 1990. Can't wait to get to the green stuff.
Basically, I think the first thing is that you can't be afraid of it. I think the instance that you're afraid to play on it, you're not going to play well. The ball's definitely going to bounce low. You're going to get some good bounces and some bad bounces. But I think the most important thing is you have to be flexible and you have to be willing to bend. And also you have to enjoy the comfort under your feet.
Laurie McNeil certainly feels comfortable. She's won 4 titles on grass and has an ideal game for the surface.
I enjoy it because I like to serve and volley, and I feel the low bounce doesn't really bother me. I move pretty well on the surface and feel pretty comfortable every time I step on. It's a nice feeling.
First stop on the green tour, the DFS Classic in Birmingham, where Laurie and Zina have virtually established a lockout. Laurie had won the title in 93 and 94. Both times she beat Zina in the final. Here in 95, they both made the final again. Zina determined to turn things around. Garrison-Jackson came forward on her serve instinctively, and for a while, McNeil found the gaps. But after Laurie had dropped her serve in the 7th game, her confidence ebbed away, and Zina's began to soar. Zina took the first set 6-3. Laurie hit back immediately. That wonderful running forehand helped her to an early break, but just when she looked as if she'd take control, the doubts re-emerged, and Zina took advantage. Garrison-Jackson, in her last competitive summer, was now flying around the court. Her athleticism, after 14 years on the tour, a joy to behold. And here at 5-3, second set, she was at match point.
Game, set, match.
After a gap of 2 years, Garrison-Jackson a tournament winner again. It's her 14th title, her 3rd on grass, and everyone delighted that her final year on the tour sees her one more time at the top of the pile.
The traditional final warm-up for Wimbledon takes place in the very traditional seaside town of Eastbourne. The pleasures of a deck chair on the promenade or a paddle in the English Channel may keep some tied to the beach. But tennis lovers make their way to Devonshire Park, where organisers faced an unusual problem for a British summer: sun-stop play. The number 1 seed was Japan's Kimiko Date, but many had come to see the woman who won 11 singles titles here, but this year was just concentrating on doubles. So, what's Martina been up to lately?
Well, actually, I've been traveling more than I used to when I played. And I used to be at a place for 1 week at a time. Now it seems it's like 2, 3, 4 days here and there. Strange packing, because I don't have to pack my tennis gear anymore. It's odd, but I've been snowboarding when I've been in Aspen and working out, and doing stuff on the road, playing the Virginia Sims Legends, and playing some other exhibitions, doing stuff for the WTA, working as president, traveling to tournaments and places for meetings. So, stuff.
Not exactly taking it easy in retirement then. And at 38, the former champ is still in pretty good shape. But she's not missing the singles circuit.
I didn't realize how much pressure I was under all these years, and it's been very freeing feeling to not have to have my life dictated by tennis. So it hasn't been strange, it's just been relaxing, and it's like I feel like I should be doing something and I don't have to. It's nice.
With 5 Eastbourne doubles titles already under her belt, Navratilova teamed up this year with Lisa Raymond. On court, she was preparing to play doubles at Wimbledon. Off court, Martina was looking forward to a new role, working as a commentator at the championships for American TV.
I think it's easier to observe from a neutral position what's going on the court than when you're out there. Obviously, I mean, even when I'm playing a match and then I watch a couple of games on the video, it's so obvious what's happening, but when you're out there, it's not so obvious, so it'll be a lot easier to talk about it from that side than it is when you're actually playing. I'm very much looking forward to it. I love new experiences, so this is definitely going to be one of them.
She may not have been facing the familiar experience of defending her Wimbledon crown, but the English summer wouldn't seem the same without Martina.
It's nice to be back, and we've had fantastic weather. Let's hope it holds.
It turned out glorious, and the centre court looked a treat on finals day. And 2 new finalists, France's Nathalie Tauziat, who'd already put out Laurie McNeil, and Natasha Zvereva, and 19-year-old American Chanda Rubin, who'd beaten the #1 seed Kimiko Dati with a loss of just 3 games. It was Rubin who dictated at the start. Neither of them instinctively serve and volleyers. It made fascinating viewing. But mostly in the first set, it was Rubin taking the chances and reaping the rewards. Chanda won the first set 6-3, but then dropped the second 6-love. Rubin had the trainer on for a stomach complaint early in the third, but she fought through it magnificently. Well, that rally typified Rubin's resolve in the deciding set. Seemingly twice out of it, she kept working, and finally a magical winner. That took it to 5-all. That was the most decisive blow of the match and led to the final break. Here's Tauziat serving for the match. And that magnificent volley at full stretch brought her to match point for only the 3rd tournament victory of her career. Natalie is animated as we've seen her in recent years. The biggest win of her life, a cheque for $79,000, and with Wimbledon beckoning, the ideal time to be at her peak form.
From the home of sports, this is Sky Sports.
John Daly, winner of the Open. Now it's the seniors' turn. Sky presents exclusively live coverage of the Senior British Open. Great golfing action from a superb lineup, including golfing legends Arnold Palmer and Gary Player. Exclusively live, the Senior British Open starts Thursday at 4 on Sky Sports.
Sometimes it would be nice to know who was calling you before you talk to them. With Orange Caller ID, you see the person's name or number before you answer the phone. The future's bright. The future's orange. Call 0800 286 286.
I've grown rather attached to you, Fiona.
And I to you, Rupert.
Gosh! God, this is not working, yaar.
Sometimes you're just not yourself. Oasis contains no gas or fizz, but its combination of real fruit juice and pure natural spring water gets you back to your old self. Oasis. Fantastic. Open pore, be yourself once more.
Some shampoos are good for your hair, others good for your scalp. With Johnson's pH 5.5 shampoo, you get the best of both worlds. Healthy feeling scalp, great looking hair.
There's something new about Daz. No, it's not me. It's new Daz Automatic. It's supposed to be better on those mealtime messes. You know, like gravy. Now, let's give it the real challenge. Hey! How are you?
The whole shakes now.
You use a new Daz Automatic?
Yes.
What do you think of it?
Fantastic. White is white.
You're going to show us some proof?
Yeah.
Do you mind if we come in?
No, not at all.
That's my little boy Lee.
Yeah.
He's always eating chocolate biscuits and they're everywhere and around the neck here. The old Daz wouldn't shift it. The new Daz, it's come out fantastic. The stains have all disappeared.
Well, there's your proof. New Daz Automatic. Better on mealtime messes for even whiter whites.
Yeah, it's the best powder I've used so far.
Another great match of the day from UK Gold.
Find a red sachet of the Doritos dollar in your pack of Doritos and you could win 5, 10 or even £1,000.
No turning back.
Movies in August.
Let's Free Willy.
The Willy Show.
The Extraordinary Quest to Free Willy.
Take the car.
Where?
On the Babe Trail.
Oh, yes.
To Wayne's World 2.
Matt, I want my family back.
I won't let her hurt you.
Do something.
Joanne Wally Kilmer, Jamie Lee Curtis, Mother's Boys. And across the movie channels throughout August, we've a summer season of kids' movies at 6. Movies this August on Sky.
No turning back.
In January this year, the tour got a brand new Grand Slam champion.
It was unbelievable. I mean, it's not that I didn't expect to win. I was trying hard and I was hoping to win and trying my best to play the best I could and win every match. But just after that match point when I beat her on to the finals was just amazing for me. It's like a dream come true. It's something that I'll never forget. And even talking about it now, I can just, feel it. It was just a feeling of such happiness, but also I was so surprised I couldn't believe it.
Victory at the Australian Open finally confirmed that one of tennis's most charismatic personalities could also win big titles. With her ability and her looks, some think Mary Pierce could be the next Chris Evert.
I think she is a contender. Whether she could be number one, I don't know. I don't think she's exhibited those qualities as yet.
At just under 6 feet tall, Pierce is a power player with particular strength from the back of the court. She's strong, she's photogenic, she's got personality. She's the kind of player editors want on the back page or the front cover. But not all the headlines have been positive, particularly those concerning her father, Jim, now banned from the tour. The pressure at times was too much, and personal reasons caused Mary to withdraw from Wimbledon last year.
I kind of just took like a vacation for about a week and just went on a sailboat actually off an island off of France and just relaxed and basically did nothing and, thought about other things.
I think she's still probably got a lot of psychic baggage that she's carrying that has to be cleared away, but she's obviously a much happier person than she was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
The volatile Jim Pierce was the man responsible for introducing the 10-year-old Mary to tennis, but she's evidently happier without him on the practice courts beside her.
I speak to him on the phone, not very often, but once in a while, just to keep in touch and see how things are going. But, and when we do, I just try to keep it more or less father and daughter and nothing about tennis. I think that's better for both of us.
On court in the last year, Mary's worked hard at keeping cool and concentrating on her tennis. But there are times when the drama still continues.
very dramatic, and everything's a big deal. And, and I think by doing that, she puts more pressure on herself. And she has to learn how to take pressure off herself rather than put pressure on herself. And she ended up calm because she's a great player. She's got a great all-around game.
Something she amply demonstrated at last year's French Open.
Mademoiselle Pierce. 2 manches à 0, 6-2.
Mary's French mother, Yannick, was among the ecstatic crowds who watched the Canadian-born 20-year-old beat Graf to reach her first Grand Slam final. France, her adopted nation, was delighted to welcome Pierce as a true Frenchwoman. It also delighted her sponsors, who before this year's French Open featured her on a massive billboard covering the whole of one side of an apartment building in Paris. Unfortunately for them, the party was spoilt in the 4th round at Roland Garros by Eva Maioli. But even this setback doesn't detract from the fact that Mary Pierce is a much more relaxed person these days.
I get the impression that she can now cope with the pressures of being a tennis player. She's now able to leave the court after a match and completely forget about the game and enjoy her life outside tennis.
Mary is learning to put the traumas of the past behind her, and that can only help her tennis. There's no doubt that one of the most colourful and glamorous players on the tour is also becoming a favourite with crowds worldwide, and she's delighted about that.
If I can bring happiness and fun and smiles to the crowd and people who watch me play, then that's great, because that's what I really enjoy doing.
Hi, this is Pam Shriver. A week before Wimbledon, I was asked for my predictions for this year's championships, and here's what I thought would happen. I think with Gabby that, it really looks like her best and most consistent years were in the early 90s. I think there is still a scar there from the French Open 2 years ago when she led Mary Jo Fernandez a set in 5-1 and had, a handful of match points. But if Gabby goes back to playing the grass court game that she could play in the early 90s when she nearly won it from Graf that year, she served for it twice, yes, she can be a factor.
The number 8 seed made it through to the second week, but came unstuck in the quarter-final. Her conqueror, last year's champion Conchita Martinez.
As I said before, we're all still waiting to see Sabatini as she was a few years ago. Not quite there, serve let her down. I believe Lindsay has the shots. A lot of times with Lindsay, I question whether or not she has that burning desire. Lindsay Davenport's lack of a killer instinct and her not burning desire to beat her good friend Mary Jo Fernandez cost her a chance at this year's championships. She's an interesting one on grass because her shots stay fairly low. She's pretty balanced on both sides. Can she win Wimbledon? A lot of things would have to go well for her. A lot of breaks in the draw. People would have to lose. But she's a reasonable outside dark horse chance.
Date, seeded 6th this year, never found her form and was firmly put in her place in the quarter-final by Martina Navratilova.
Kamiko Date became the first Japanese woman through to the quarterfinals in singles. Navratilova was too tough, but she fulfilled her seeding.
6-2, 6-3.
It could cause problems just because she hasn't played there. She's not familiar with the territory. But another one, it's so hard to predict. There's nothing to go on. There's no form. She does have certain qualities that can be great on grass. She's got the big, heavy ground strokes. She's got a nice serve. I think if she makes it through the first week, she could be a danger there at the end.
In fact, the number 5 seed made it through just one match. Her second-round conqueror, the winner at Eastbourne, Nathalie Tauziat.
Well, as it turns out, Mary Pierce didn't come close to making it through the first week, and she certainly was not a danger.
In the end, the seeding committee got it spot on. Just like the men, the top 4 women had made it through to the semi-final.
Jana Novotná is an interesting one because she's one of the players that has a grass court game and the ability to win Wimbledon. She showed that 2 years ago when she led 4-1, serving 40-30, and fell apart. Is she big enough to win it mentally? She certainly has proven that so far. But I've seen things change around in people's careers. I think she's a strong number 2 favorite. I think she's proven not only last year, but the year before getting through the semis, she likes grass. I think Conchita's going to take someone who played pretty well to beat her, but I would still, if it comes down to a Graf or Conchita match, I would still pick the German. The trouble with Arantxa, she's never made it to the semifinals, so it's the only Grand Slam tournament she doesn't know what the later stages really feels like. Could this be her year that she puts it together? Possibly. If she doesn't, then I think it really starts to become a mental thing as well. Well, I think she's the absolute favorite to take the title for the 6th time. Having won it 5 times already, she knows what it takes. If I had to put money down, it would go on Steffi.
Well, this is how the draw looked on the second Thursday. Pam got 1 right, 1 wrong. Graf did beat Novotná, but in the battle of the Spaniards, it was Arantxa who came out on top to make it through to her first Wimbledon final. And what a performance she produced on the day. Arantxa took the first set 6-4. Graf retaliated in vintage style. Steffi took the second set 6-1. The third was spellbinding and included the finest game of tennis ever seen in a Grand Slam final. It came at 5-all. Here are just a few of the highlights. After 20 minutes of mesmerizing play, Steffi took the game, had the break, and here she stands at match point.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
As I thought, Steffi won through in the end. No big surprise there, but Arantxa proved to have the breakthrough, and that caught me a little off guard. But here's the Queen of Wimbledon once again, Steffi Graf.
And the other big winners at Wimbledon? Arantxa, for a start, she teamed up with a past-losing singles finalist to win the doubles. And of course Martina, the mixed, her 19th Wimbledon title. A week later, Romania's Irina Spălea repeated last year's Palermo triumph. So how's it shape up at the top this month? Well, no quarter at Wimbledon for Davenport this year. She drops to 9. And leapfrogging over Sabatini comes Maggie Malieva. For the rest, it's as you were. Steffi, with 32 successive wins in '95, stays number 1.
Things will be different next month. The great news is that Monica Seles has decided to return to the tour after an absence of 2 years. And the WTA have awarded her a special ranking of co-number 1 with Steffi to acknowledge the position she held when she was forced to withdraw from tennis 2 years ago. We look forward to welcoming her back next month. So it's goodbye for now from Simon Reed and me, Eleanor Oldroyd.